Hey fans from L3 Online, Joe Rodriguez here in Bristol, Connecticut, and welcome to another edition of the ETO Latino Business Entrepreneur segment. Today we have a special guest all the way from Boyle Heights out there in California. It's Jorge Parrales. George, how are you today, man?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Hey George, so before we talk a little bit about your business, I want you to give us a little bit of background about you. We want to get to know you. Why don't you tell us about that?
All right. Give a little brief description. I'm 33 years old. I am a Nicaraguense native. So I was born in Nicaragua. I came here at the age of 4 years old with my mother and my two older brothers. Moved out here to Boyle Heights. Growing up in Boyle Heights, most of the common commodities they were out here was gangs and violence. So me and my brothers, as a pastime, we went into basketball, sports, and to arts. So that's how I kind of grew up with sports and a lot of art in my background.
Hey, George, welcome. Real quick, so I hope you're doing well. So let's talk about your business. How did your business start? How did you come about it?
It took some time. It's like 10 years in the making. I was always fascinated with art. I didn't know exactly what type of art I was doing or how I could monetize what I was doing, So I went into commercial artwork, which I studied at LA Trade Tech. I studied fine graphics. I also studied at UCLA College, took some art classes there, and I also studied at the Occupational Center for Graphic Design. So after doing a lot of research, after pretty much studying what an advertisement company does, I decided to take that leap and begin my own company. That's where Casual Living is today.
Hey, really quick, talk to us about the name. What inspired the name?
It's it's a funny thing. In school, there's a font. There's a font. It's called Casual. On first semester, you learn a few fonts. You learn Gothic, you learn Roman, you learn script, and at the end, you learn Casual, which is pretty much your own signature style of font. But that's kind of how I was as a person. I would just be like a casual dude. I was just, just going about everything real casual. So once I kind of learned how to do that font, I kind of I mastered it. I'm able to do an alphabet in about 35 seconds, which is pretty fast, Wow. Everybody in school know me as, that's a casual. That's the guy with the casual. So as how I was as a person, I always lived it as a casual person. So I was like, you know what? This sounds pretty cool. I think casual living has a good ring to it. And it stuck, and everybody kind of just remembered me as casual living murals. And that's how pretty. Oh.
Now let's talk about a little bit more about the business. Let's dive into it. And why don't you talk to us about the ins and outs of the actual business?
Okay. So what we do, a lot of it is commercial artwork, like I have stated before. We mostly do schools. So let's say a client reaches out to us, they need a new logo. So we're able to do that as well. I have the background in graphic design, like I had mentioned. So if a client has an idea but doesn't know exactly where he wants to go, I kind of take the lead on that. I advise them what steps to take, what colors they should use, the type of text that they should use for the business the business or product that they're providing. So I I try to educate them on the process. If they're open to it, most of the time they are. It's kind of like a smooth transition where we create for the client. I create mock-ups. I present them with the ideas before I paint it. Once they give me the green light or they give me the approval, then we show up, paint it, and that's pretty much how it goes for the mural aspect of it. We also do screen printing as well. So what I like doing for my clients is I create the artwork for them, which is a vector artwork, which means you could put that artwork on, let's say, a vehicle. You could put it on business cards. You could put it on hats. So I provide them with the artwork as well. So I think that's what gives us the upper hand on other businesses. They're not doing that, what we do in the business, or the services that we provide.
Nice. George, you said you've been coming around your business. It took about 10 years to get to where you are at this point. What are some of the challenges you've encountered along the way to get to at this point in your life with your business?
It sounds a little messed up, but I'm just going to go out of there and say it. You sometimes have to take your talent or your brand, your company out of the neighborhood, because sad to say is people want things super cheap. You know, they want really good work for cheap, and the type of work that we provide, it's not cheap. We do really, really good work and large scale work too. So a lot of in the beginning, the things I used to encounter was everybody would lowball me, you know, and I knew what I brought to the table. I knew that our work was really good. So I kind of just started, freaking out. And after that, I kind of met the clients that would actually appreciate the work that I did, and the prices that I'll give out, they knew that they were fair. So that's kind of one of the that I heard in the beginning, which was nobody really wants to pay for good work. And with me, like I said, it kind of just discouraged me a little bit, because, like I said, I have gone to school for it. Put in the time, I did the research. Just like any other profession, man. Like you do what you love, and you bring it home. You do everything that you do, and for clients to kind of downgrade you, it's discouraging. But that's kind of one of the things I would say that was the obstacle starting the business. It was just having people trust you and actually moving forward with the pricing that you provide to them.
You mentioned the hood and getting out of there, but you're still part of someone's community. Your business is part of the community. So can you talk to us about the connection between your business and that community you serve?
Yeah. So Boyle Heights, originally when I started too, I did a lot of free work for schools. I did Mendez High School. I did Hollenbeck Middle School. Hollenbeck Middle Schools, I attended there when I was, going to middle school. So I provided some free work for them. After they saw the work that I was doing, they kind of just started spreading the word. We have a guy, he's from the neighborhood. I've lived there I still live there. But yeah, like I said, I gave back to the community. Sometimes there's projects where schools reach out to me and say, "Hey, George, can you come out and, can you do something for us?" And if I have the time to do it, I always do. You know what I mean? I like to give back. But like I said, sometimes I like taking my talent elsewhere, but I still bring it back home to where it all started,
Okay, George, keeping it in the community, we noticed that you did a Kobe mural. Can you elaborate a little more on what the meaning of that Kobe mural is? What it means to you, why you did it?
Yeah, so as you know, Ivan, I played sports. Like I said in the beginning of the interview, I respected Kobe as an athlete. He was great. He was a great basketball player. Just his mindset for the game, it was just, it was unmatched. Everybody compares him to Jordan, but he's like the Jordan era. So you know what? There was a lot of things that I looked up to him. Like I said, he was a great player. I remember once he had 81 points. I was able to play one time and have 71 points. So I'm like, hey, this is a point difference there, He tore his Achilles. I tore my Achilles. I tore my Achilles in the Kobe 9 on his shoe. So it was kind of special. I was like, you know what? This is crazy. I got the news. My girlfriend called me. I was here at work, and once I got the news, I was like, you know what, man? I have to pay my respects. I have to do something that is memorable, something for the community, because I know a lot of people. I mean, he's LA, dude. He's Kobe, LA. Yeah. So I was able to reach out to a business owner down the street from my house. She had a nice wall, and she gave us the opportunity. I showed her the design, and she said, "Start today if you want." And sure enough, within 3 days, we finished the Kobe mural, and we got a lot of good feedback from the community. Everybody respected the mural, and they loved it, dude.
That's incredible, man. And you mentioned that Kobe it was an inspiration to you. Now, can you talk about maybe like some people or individuals that inspired you in the process of building your business?
Yeah. You know what? I have a few people. Had a friend, Hector. He was a teacher there at Mendez. He's the one that pretty much bought me paint when I was struggling, going to school. My girlfriend, she motivated, she pushed me every time I, felt down or I was like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. She kept saying, push it. This is a gift. This is your gift. This is your passion. Keep pushing. And another big inspiration to me has always been my mom. My mother has worked in the hospital. She does housekeeping. She's been there for about 17 years. She's never been late once. She's never been absent. So she has like a perfect record. So my brothers too, I just had like growing up, like I said, I had good role models, you could say. I just didn't want to be the black sheep. I had big skill. I had a hardworking mom, hardworking brothers. So I just knew it was my turn. And so I took that in consideration and said, you know what, we come from humble beginnings. We've grown up with not much. As growing up, we used to panhandle and we used to collect cans for recyclables for the weekend. So that just everything I've been through kind of just reminded me of why I'm doing this and why I should keep pushing for what I'm doing. But yeah, like I said, my brothers and my mother were like a big inspiration to me starting the business.
That's great, man. That's great.
So, that's actually really inspiring, dude. You mentioned your mom works in a hospital.
Right.
Bringing in the question, during this pandemic, have you encountered any just tough times regarding your business? Yeah, like what have you encountered with the pandemic?
My thing, like I said, I deal a lot with LAUSD, which is Los Angeles Unified School District. That's our contract. That's where we usually work with. And I had 4 contracts pending before COVID-19 hit. So, it was looking good for the business. It was, like I said, it's contract and there were big accounts. Once that happened, the schools called me up. They said, "Hey, George, we're sorry. We can't move forward with this account." And I didn't plan this. No one was ready for this. So, it was a toll on us. It was to the point where I said, you know what, I might have to just close down casual living. And it was tough. I was stressing out a lot. The thing that it made me, because it took me so long to get here, and it wasn't my choice to say, you know what, it's over. It was just literally taken from me. And that's what hurt. Where I said, you know what, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into the business. And, within seconds, they said, you know what, close it all down. But I was resilient. Once that happened, I said, you know what, there's other ways of making income. I said, I'm good with my hands. I'm creative. And I literally started painting homes, like houses. I'm like, dude, it's easy. That's easy money. It's not creating a logo. It's not measurements. It's literally just one color. And I was fast. And sure enough, I got accounts. They came in. Clients were happy with my work. They called me back, and it's some more. And after that, luckily, I had an account for a school which reached out to me. They said, "Hey, George, are you still willing to paint for us?" I said, "When do you want me to start?" And that was one of the big accounts that I was waiting for. And sure enough, we knocked it out in 4 days, got paid, and literally that account saved my business.
That's great, man. That's an awesome story, man. So now that you mentioned being resilient, and it's obviously something that all entrepreneurs need to have with them, but also entrepreneurs need a vision. So can you talk to us about the vision for the future of your business?
So right now, what we want to do as a business, we want to grow. Sometimes we get 4 projects in the year. I want to be able to get 4 projects in a day. That's my goal. I want to expand because the people that work for me, we have similar backgrounds. We have, similar stories. We don't come from money. We don't come from these, like families with wealth or anything like that. We made choices in the past, growing up as kids that weren't the best choices, put us in some situations that we didn't want to be, but we got a second opportunity. And I think, by me creating the business, like, yo, you know what? You guys work, you guys get to do what you guys love to do and get paid for it at the end of the day. So if I could bring in more guys with similar backgrounds that could share their stories and honestly be an inspiration to others, I think that's the main goal. It's just like saying, you know what? I didn't have everything growing up. I didn't have the best. I didn't have a dad, whatever the case may be, but you made something of it, So I always go by this motto. It's, life's a canvas. What are you going to paint? So it's pretty much like, hey man, it's not the greatest. You were dealt some whack cards, but make something of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to do. I want to expand, and hopefully we can keep growing, and we get more opportunities and have more guys with similar backgrounds and just keep pushing.
Yeah. Hey, George. So you mentioned you live in Boyle Heights, and some prominent people have actually came out of Boyle Heights, and we have a lot of young children actually that look up to certain people. If somebody wants to open up a business, what piece of advice can you give to them in regards to opening up a business?
Right. So there's a few things. One thing, what I recommend is don't chase the money. Do what you love doing first. Find the thing that you love doing, and then try to kind of do the research and learn how you can monetize it. Because I think some people just see the end goal, which is money. Okay, I want to make income, thousands of dollars. But sometimes when you're in that position, you're not even happy doing what you're doing. So if you're not happy, honestly, you're going to work your whole life. I tell people, try to do what you like doing, and if you learn how to monetize it, that's good, But like I said, go into a field where you say, you know what, I could do this 40, 80 hours. And then there's going to be days or weeks when it's a dry spell, you're not getting anything, So I would tell people too, just don't get discouraged. There's things that sometimes are not going to go your way, but you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing. And another thing I could say is educate yourself. On the service or product that you're selling or providing, the services that you're providing, you got to educate yourself, because if someone else is doing the same thing you're doing at a cheaper price or a better product, then there's something that you have to be doing different in order for the client to take you in consideration. So there's a lot of people that try to do something that someone else is already doing, but they're not doing the different things that'll make them stand out of the crowd, So that's a main important thing too. Like I tell people, like, if you have something that you think is something special, then what's that extra special thing that you're doing that the others are not doing? And I think
that's great, man. That's great. Your story has been extremely inspiring, George, and we really want to thank you very much for taking your time and talking to us today. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do so?
Social media platforms, you could find me under Casual Living Murals on Instagram, or you guys can go to the website as well, www.casuallivingmurals.com. We also have a Yelp page where you guys can see some of our work that we've done. Like I said, most of our work is commercial work. We do smaller scale work, but most of the stuff that we do is large scale buildings and stuff like that. But like I said, any job we're happy to take on, and we're just, like I said, glad that we're able to do what we love to do day in and day out.
That's great, man. And again, absolutely inspiration to the Latino communities, because it's extremely important that we continue celebrating success together between all of us Latinos. So best of luck to you, George, and your business. And again, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to talk to you.
Hey, likewise, guys. I had a good time.
Thank you, George.
All right. Take care, man.